So, beta, type 2 diabetes is a condition where usually it starts after 40 years of age due to sedentary life, heavy body weight. So, what happens is, though insulin is there, but the number of receptors will reduce. Okay, so because of which there is partial deficiency and there is usually they don't have any endocrine disorders, only like the insulin which is released is not sufficient. So this diabetes will have a very good prognosis in the sense, suppose if we give them very good diet program and good exercise, yoga and all healthy food, healthy lifestyle, usually this can we can overcome type 2 diabetes. Okay, but type 1 diabetes is a type of diabetes where you will see it is very early in onset. That means there may be some autoimmune disease, or by birth itself it may be congenital, like pancreas are not working right from birth, because of which there is no release of insulin, no source of insulin, beta cells are not functioning, because of which definitely we are supposed to give insulin throughout the life. Okay, here at least in case of type 1 diabetes, basically we give only with human mixture, that means injection, which is given subcutaneously, intradermally. Okay, whereas in case of type 2 diabetes, we generally give drugs like metformin and all, which are equally, that means we need not go with the human insulin mixture type of injections. Even medications with tablets also will be sufficient to maintain the blood glucose levels, and gradually we can taper the dose, and gradually we can stop the medication and bring them back to normal life. Okay, so type 2 diabetes can be easily controlled provided patient is cooperative. Okay, whereas type 1 diabetes, because there is damage in islets of Langerhans throughout the life, they have to depend upon insulin. Okay, beta, just go through the differences of type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Okay, beta, understood? Ritika, Imad?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you must have seen practically also in your families both the cases. At least type 2 is quite common, diabetes, sugar disease is quite common, isn't it? Okay, myopia we have done. Do you want me to repeat better? Myopia middle recently we did, right?
Which one, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah,
Myopia.
myopia already done. Corrective lenses.
Ritika,
Refraction error is already done.
yeah, yeah. Do you remember better myopia? Short sightedness,
Yes, ma'am.
your age group people who can't see, very much comfortable with near vision but cannot see like far, isn't it? So that is functions of middle ear. Whole mechanism of ear only I have explained. Functions of middle ear is conduction of sound. Tympanic membrane receives the vibrations. Handle of malleus is attached to the umbo. The maximum convexity of tympanic membrane where handle of malleus is attached is umbo. So the vibrations are
Both.
just passing from malleus to incus, incus to stapes, stapes is fixed in the oval window. That means the sound vibrations are forming from the external ear via tympanic membrane to the internal ear via oval window. Okay, oval window has connections with the perilymph in the internal ear. Okay, so that is recently we have discussed. Again, if suppose comes as an essay, I will discuss in detail. See, this I have shared in our WhatsApp group, dorsal column medial lemniscus pathway. So what did you understand better? Did you check in WhatsApp? It's nothing but the ascending tracks. So in the ascending tracks, what are the tracks we have recently discussed? Spinothalamic tracks. Huh?
Anterior spinal
Ma'am,
fluid.
what, ma'am?
Anterior and lateral
Can you repeat?
spinothalamic tracts beta. See, I have shared one photograph in WhatsApp beta. Dorsal column medial lemniscus pathway.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
which is nothing but ascending tracts.
Ascending tracks. Yes, it is responsible for fine touch,
Mm. Vibration.
vibration, proprioception,
Mm.
2 point discrimination.
Yeah. Epicritic touch also I have discussed in detail very recently, day before yesterday only. Yes, Ritika?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is epicritic touch?
Epicritic touch, sensory, I told you, trigeminal nerve. Okay, I will show you once. Not here, but in previous class we have discussed that.
Okay, previous paper. Okay.
Okay, no problem. I'll show you once again. the last chapter. You have to basically talk about the ascending tracts better. That is the anterior and lateral spinothalamic tracts. We have to discuss in detail for this answer. Spinal cord chapter. Spinal cord is before I love it. So I want you to, yes, this one. For this answer, we have to talk about anterior spinothalamic and lateral spinothalamic tract. Okay, and we should talk like it is concerned with crude touch sensation, pain, temperature, sensation. You asked me epicritic touch, right? I'll show you that also. Next chapter. But concept is this only. That only has been elaborated. See, somatosensory system. Next chapter. Immediate next chapter. Here you will come across epicritic sensation. Epicritic touch. Nothing but fine touch or tactile sensation. Again, he asks us to go to 143 chapter only. That means we have to talk about those ascending pathways. Anterior and lateral spinothalamic tracts. Okay, better. Imad, is that clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, all the sensations that dorsal column is responsible for, that is epicritic touch.
Yes. Complete, not only epicritic, every different types of touch, whatever we have controlled by anterior and lateral spinothalamic tract, everything comes under dorsal column medial lemniscus. Okay? Touch, pain, tactile discrimination, temperature, everything comes under this. Okay, beta, Imad. Okay. Then what is cretinism, beta? Ritika?
When the thyroid hormone is less.
Yeah, very good. Deficiency of thyroid hormone during infancy. When the baby is small, thyroid hormones are not produced, then the baby becomes physically retarded and
Mentally
also
retarded,
mentally
and
retarded.
physically retarded.
Yeah. Okay. So that condition is cretinism. What is the physiological basis? That means thyroid hormone is
Improperties of
very
thyroid hormone in pregnancy.
no, but not during pregnancy. In the baby, it is after birth. Okay.
Oh, okay, so sorry, okay.
Baby's thyroid gland is not functioning normally. Okay. Because of which, see, that means you have to correlate with normal thyroid functions here. Okay, beta. That means basically thyroid hormone is concerned with growth mechanism. Like you study under growth
Ma'am, what
hormone.
happens in myxedema?
Myxedema is a different condition. You see accumulation of so much of connective tissue substance in the tissue spaces. That is myxedema.
Okay, ma'am.
So much of material gets deposited. Here in this case, what you see is growth retardation is there because thyroid hormones work same like growth hormone for the mechanism of growth. The other drawback what we have is person will also have mental retardation because thyroid hormones are very important for the normal formation, growth of CNS. Okay, that basis you should write. That means normal functioning for the growth and normal development of CNS. The functions of thyroid hormones you should write better. 2 headings you should write.
Okay.
We have around 15 headings, no? Under that, only 2 are asked. For the mechanism of growth and for the formation of CNS, whatever points are discussed, you should write under this answer. Because those are deranged, now the baby is presenting with cretinism. Okay? Then progesterone, this also we have discussed many times. What is progesterone functions like? What is the source of progesterone? Tell me first.
Theca
Corpus
interna
luteum.
of
No,
the
Ritika
corpus
is right.
luteum.
Corpus luteum. Of course, you can tell theca interna, but basically theca interna is concerned with estrogen. Small amount of progesterone is synthesized from there. Okay, beta? Whereas corpus luteum is the chief source. Okay, suppose if it is pregnancy, then what is the source of progesterone?
Corpus luteum.
That is only for 3 months. Corpus luteum can withstand inside the ovary at a maximum 3 months till the formation of dash, till the formation of which structure inside the uterus?
Placenta.
Placenta. That means placenta is also very, very important source of progesterone during pregnancy. Now, what are the basic functions of progesterone, beta? The normal growth, the development, deposition of fat in the mammary gland, feminine type of the body, and axillary hair, pubic hair, whatever changes we see during puberty, whatever you write under estrogen, you also write under progesterone. Very simple question. Under the functions of ovary, we will have this. Okay? Regulation of menstrual cycle. Thickening of endometrium. Post ovulation is under the control of progesterone. I'll give you headings at least, you will get an idea. But we have also discussed this answer. Ovary, 476 page. Yes, but under this ovary chapter, you will have hormones. Okay, these are the functions of progesterone. So it helps in the secretory activities of the mucosal lining of fallopian tubes. It helps in the secretory activity of uterine endometrium. Okay, so increases the thickness of endometrium, size of uterine gland, size of secretory activity of the uterine glands. So, like very simple points only. So increases the thickness of cervical mucus, inhibits the transport of sperm into uterus because after ovulation you will see progesterone levels are gradually rising, promotes the development of mammary gland, inhibits the release of LH from hypothalamus through feedback effect. Thermogenic, it increases the body temperature after ovulation. Okay, so like that, you have simple functions are there, but I just see, go through. So that those are the functions of progesterone. Then resting membrane potential. This we have done around 4 to 5 times till now. What is resting membrane potential?
Uh, it is around minus 95 millivolts.
It's very good.
On
You
a,
are telling me the reading. What happens exactly in resting membrane potential? First, from skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, and smooth muscle, and also the hair cells. Isn't it? The resting membrane
yes,
potential.
sir.
What exactly happens, beta?
Do we have to write about depolarization, repolarization, hyperpolarization?
Only resting membrane, that is sodium and potassium exchange mechanism. Only that much we should write.
Okay.
What is
Then for I think 2K plus is transported into the cell since it is more in the inside of the cell, and 3 sodium ions are transported outside to the cell
yeah.
for maintenance of electrical neutrality.
Yes. Exactly. Yes, but this one is resting membrane potential. Resting membrane potential. Okay. So this is nothing but whenever there is a trigger, that means whenever a skeletal muscle is receiving some impulse from the neuron at the neuromuscular junction, we have certain ionic changes taking place. so as to facilitate the muscle contraction. So these initial changes, whatever we have, are nothing but resting membrane potential. As the math said, 3 sodium ions come out and 2 potassium ions come inside with the help of sodium potassium pump. There is more negativity inside the skeletal muscle. You can consider it as either skeletal muscle or cardiac muscle or hair cells of neuron. Okay, or rods and cones, everywhere you will see these ionic changes only because of the present formation of this action potential after resting membrane potential, we will get the required movement. Okay, for example, here skeletal muscle contraction, okay, which is preceded by resting membrane potential. Okay, and of course you try to check with the normal values. What is the normal resting membrane potential for skeletal muscle? Okay, just give one reading. It's quite interesting and easy also, beta. So this is ionic basis of resting membrane potential. Though it looks lengthy, if you practice this diagram, the points are many times repeated till here. Okay, so that is resting membrane potential. It starts there. Okay, beta. Then factors influencing spermatogenesis. Indicators of ovulation. Okay, what are the factors influencing spermatogenesis? We have certain hormones controlling spermatogenesis. What are the hormones? Follicle stimulating hormone, testosterone, luteinizing hormone also. And the body temperature, it should be maintained low, which facilitates spermatogenesis, isn't it? This is a general question. Male reproductive system. .455 page, we'll check. Yes, better this one. This is the question, right? Some factors influencing spermatogenesis. So we have serotonin cells, hormones, and other factors. We know serotonin cells are something like mother cells, no? They will promote spermatogenesis. Role of hormones. I said follicle stimulating testosterone, estrogen, luteinizing growth hormone. Okay, all these. You can also give this table, but it's very easy for 3 marks. Like what are the hormones necessary for spermatogenesis? First stage of proliferation, FSH and growth hormone. Stage of growth, testosterone, growth hormone. Stage of maturation, testosterone, growth hormone. Stage of transformation, testosterone and estrogen, like that. And then what are the indicators of ovulation? On the day of ovulation, the body temperature slightly falls. For the couples who do not have usually like infertility problem, we usually ask them to maintain early morning body temperature. As soon as they get up, we have to ask them to record their body temperature. On the day of ovulation, the body temperature slightly falls down. Okay, and one more thing I told you, cervix
Alert surge.
secretion, fern pattern of the cervix. Maybe you don't remember, I'll take it. And of course, in the urine, we can check for the levels of estrogen and progesterone. That also will help. Imad, you were telling something?
No, I thought alert surge. Alert surge.
ELISA test, that is for pregnancy test.
No, LH surge.
LH surge, of course, very important. LH surge, luteinizing hormone surge is there on the day of ovulation, but we have to go with the blood test. No?
Okay.
Ovulation, did I cross ovary? Menstrual cycle. Mucus fern pattern, you remember. Basal body temperature, you try to remember. And
Okay,
checking
ma'am.
for the hormones in the blood and checking for the hormones in the urine. These 4 parameters enough. See, determination of
Okay, ma'am.
ovulation. Basal body temperature. I told you it slightly falls now. How much? See, plus or minus 0.3 degrees centigrade to 0.5 degrees centigrade. Okay, we can check for the levels of estrogen and progesterone in the urine. We can check for the levels of FSH, LH, and estrogen levels. Okay, in the plasma. Then ultrasound scanning. It's difficult to check in scanning. See, cervical mucus one pattern. You do like 2 slides generally to make a blood smear. You take 2 slides. Do you remember blood smear, tongue shaped smear? Physiology experiments, blood experiments. Similarly, here you are using a drop of cervical secretions and you are just trying to make a smear. It looks like fern trees you see in cold countries, no? Like
Yes, ma'am.
that type of pattern you will see if it is on the day of ovulation. That is cervical mucus pattern. Okay. So that will all these techniques will help us to know exactly what is the day of ovulation, so that we can allow the couple to have pregnancy if they have any fertility problems. Okay, and then what is ageusia, beta? Nowadays, COVID, no, this problem is quite common.
Loss of
Loss of
sense of smell.
no, beta, that is
No, that is
anosmia.
anosmia. Sorry.
Ah, this is
Of taste,
taste.
I think.
Very good
Okay,
taste.
taste. Okay.
Okay, olfactory pathway. In the roof of the nose, we have olfactory cells. No? Very small pathway it is. I'll show you. Special senses, side by side, 2 chapters he gave. Yes, this pathway. In sensation of taste, under this clinical condition, you have this acousia. See, loss of taste sensation is acousia. Taste buds of anterior 2/3 of the tongue are innervated. This is all about nerve supply. We know already facial nerve is there in the anterior 2/3, isn't it? General sensation is coming from lingual and special sensation comes from chorda tympani. Posterior most we have glossopharyngeal also.
Glossopharyngeal nerve.
So if this is impaired, like if they are not working temporarily, then we will suffer with loss of taste. That is acousia. Then olfactory pathway, better you draw this picture better. This is suppose our nasal mucosa, roof of the nose. There we have cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. Do you remember roof of the nose? In the anterior cranial fossa. Cribriform
Yes,
plate
ma'am.
of ethmoid bone. From the nasal mucosa, these are all olfactory cells. These are specialized neurons. Like you have hair cells, no, in the ear, organ of Corti.
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, we have olfactory receptors in the nasal mucous membrane. From here, the information is going to olfactory bulb. From there, it is going to olfactory tract. Okay. So here you are finding first synapse, that is the olfactory glomerulus. These cells are mitral cells, and this is the olfactory pathway. Very small pathway, and it is asked. Just draw and put it in your own words. We don't have much explanation also. See, it starts here and ends in 4-5 lines till here. Okay, that is it's going to olfactory cortex within the limbic system. Okay, so that so I think this is the last answer. Okay, then